What's up guys, Loom here. Welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. Today we're looking at Fury Warrior versus Zekvir hard mode. I've heard you loud and clear. Nobody plays Arms Warrior. The talents I used are in the description below. A quick note on the class side. Titan's Torment modifies Odin's Fury to give it a 4-second avatar proc whenever you use it. Avatar breaks snares and roots, allowing you to have another option for dealing with enfeebling spittle. And on the spec tree, there's only 2 notes here. I opted for the stronger Bladestorm instead of the double charges. I use Bladestorm exclusively on eggs. There might be 1 or 2 scenarios where I use it to dispel the spittle dot, as I'm also DPSing an egg cocoon. Anytime I'm using it on a spittle, that's just gravy, as I have 3 other options before even considering what brand can do for me. There's also Reckless Abandon, which you take in place of Anger Management. Anger Management reduces the cooldown on Recklessness and Bladestorm. It's a pretty staple talent for warriors, though getting Empowered Bloodthirst and Raging Blows after every rampage really felt like it upped my sustain to a degree where I might not even need DPS cooldowns to deal with an egg. And a quick note on the Slayer tree, Relentless Pursuit gives Charge a 30-second internal cooldown snare break that we used in the Arms video. It's very handy, but it's 30 seconds, meaning you can't comfortably use it on back-to-back spittles without a lot of healing or defensives in between. And if you don't move out in advance or during the spittle cast itself, Zekvir may just follow you around, making it pretty difficult to actually charge back to him. And additionally, the very bottom talent, the capstone talent for the Slayer tree, allows you to press your interrupt while bladestorming. I can't oversell how handy that is. Nothing really against the Colossus hero tree, but those 2 traits really push Slayer over the edge for me. Surviving the fight is all about keeping an eye on your health bar, personal responsibility, knowing when to sit in defensive stance, getting as many impending victories out as you can while stepping on floor potions, and not overhealing, using multiple potions for 1 hit. Even just gaining some distance at times can be enough. Defensive stance is very big. You can sit in this the entire fight. In fact, if you get the mini buff from the Amorphous Relic, I would recommend just sitting in defensive stance. Damage not important on the fight at all, as long as you can destroy the eggs before they hatch. If an egg does hatch, you have Stormbolt to stop the first cast of Web Blast, and then you can always follow up with Shockwave. Anything after that and you're looking to line of sight the Web Blast, but frankly that's like the 3rd or 4th reason you would use Heroic Leap. Just try to get those eggs cleared. If you are DPSing the cocoon and you're just going to get smacked multiple times in a row, sitting in D stance or hitting Enraged Regen, which also has the damage reduction component to it these days, is your best option. Of course, Impending Victory is going to be refreshed as soon as you take out an egg, so it's good to use it if you're not at full health at any time when you are clearing an egg. Some clarity about the snare break options that Fury Warrior has. So we talked about Charge gaining the snare break functionality through Relentless Pursuit. Cannot really be used on back-to-back snare breaks. A general rule I have for the fight is I'm holding any 2 of my damage cooldowns to deal with the spittle and the egg. Odin's Fury and Avatar will both grant Avatar, allowing you to use them as a snare break. Keep in mind that if you already have the Avatar buff through one or the other and then you refresh it, it's not going to act as a snare break in that moment. But in general, after the pull, I'm just using Avatar as a snare break button, and that's actually my 2nd option after using Odin's Fury. So on the pull, I'm hitting everything except Bladestorm. This is going to be used on our first egg. There are times when Bladestorming an egg can overlap a spittle cast. If you're savvy, you can do that, but at this point it's a bonus or last resort if you mess up along the way. I know we're getting our first spittle dispel from Brand, so no reason to hold Avatar or Odin's Fury. You can see I already used Impending Victory, has a low cooldown. Basically press it if you're not topped off and not standing directly next to a potion. Incredibly favorable egg spawn. Really important to let Zek cast his heal as long as possible, unless you need to move him out. He's not meleeing you at this point. Never interrupt an opponent when he's making a mistake. He smacks me good on the way back in, likely a crit. Once that egg is gone, I just immediately hit Impending Victory. I know it's refreshed and I wasn't topped off. And I know I talked about not using Charge as an initial resort for the spittle, but having Roar and Odin's Fury on the next cocoon is just a pattern I had gotten into at this point. New egg is up. We know we have a spittle coming in, so that Odin's Fury is going to wait just a tiny bit. Out for the smash. Back in, spittle coming up. Heroic Leaping for the Fear Circle when the egg is up, consistently the best use for it, at least in phase 1. He's right on top of you to maximize that uptime for the egg. Egg down, we Impending Victory when we bring the boss back to the middle. Bladestorm is back up. We're just saving this for the next egg. Avatar back up. Saving this for the next spittle unless it gets dispelled or we have a clean charge opportunity. This yellow power word shield effect we have is called Aegis of Iron Force. It's a buff Bran gives you, 20% damage reduction and immunity to CC effects. Friendly egg spawn here. We grab a potion on the way. We dodge the Fear Stomp and back in with the Bladestorm. Has a pretty wide range. Just keep dodging while it's up. We grab a potion, we impending victory as well, maybe a little overlapping heals there, and then we grab the next potion. Next spittle coming out, Bran's Dispel is available, but so is Odin's Fury and Avatar, so we just send one. We beat Bran to the punch, and he doesn't actually send his Dispel either. This is unlucky, lucky, but prepared all at the same time. Trying to get Zek back in the middle for our next egg spawn. Not a huge fan of up there, but better than the left or right sides. We get smacked pretty good on the way up. We enraged, regen, impending victory, and let our bloodthirst do the rest. There's no potions in sight. There goes Bran eating the fear, and then we jump out of this claw smash since we're slow to clock it after getting the kick. A spittle coming in. Bran is maybe a mile out, but we have Avatar ready. And Bran seems to beat me to the punch, but safer than sorry. Odin's Fury coming back so we can hold that for the next one. A Bladestorm also coming back from that Slayer strike, pulling him back to the middle. Honestly, a little late on the impending victory. New potions are out, and he's about to transition to phase 2. I picked these up to top off my health. We'll get more before we need them. He restarts his cast sequence in phase 2, so he won't be meleeing too much right away. Generally in phase 2, you're taking way fewer melees anyway. Holding Odin's Fury for the spittle, Bran's Dispel currently on cooldown, and holding Bladestorm for the next egg, so about halfway through that Spines channel, you'll stop getting new ones, so safer to not continue moving about. We get a dreaded wall egg. It's well out of the Angler's portal mess, so we're happy for that, but I really don't like the lateral walls. Pretty favorable spittle and Bladestorm overlap, no arguments there. An egg on the wall plus unending spines can be frustrating, but just running out and then kind of back in will give you enough time to dodge laterally to finish off the egg. Pretty unfriendly portals here. We just kind of move out of the whole shape and then moving back in after the spit travels by. Staying at max melee range to help dodge the incoming stomp and then balls. Trying to back him up to the middle again, but again, unending spines add so much casting time to his abilities. There we are. Not a great egg, but still better than one on the sidewall. We get spittle on the way up to the egg. Bran does hit the Dispel, though we do have both Odin's Fury and Avatar. Let's see if we send either one just for the egg damage. No, just Roar. Holding the other two is a little overly cautious. Bladestorm will be up for the next egg. We're back to the mid. More dodging, dodging. Again, late kick reduces the melee uptime of the boss. Not the biggest heal in phase 2, but the fewer opportunities for him to crit you, the better. Easy dodge on the Angler's Web. New spittle comes out. The Odin's Fury. We actually had the Aegis buff here. I didn't gauge it in time. Probably okay to send that anyway. Always trying to shuffle him back more towards the mid, more dodging. Worst case scenario, you keep your tune in the middle of the room. And we have portals right on top of the egg, but we have Roar and fully buffed Bladestorm. This will not really be too much of a problem. And again, big range on that Bladestorm. Got kind of lucky with that spittle. It hit the tail end of the Bladestorm, which immunes it. I can't take credit for timing that, but I do take credit for otherwise having Avatar ready. Bran's Dispel still on CD. A dicey Angler's Web here, but should have moved out earlier, but we just jump. Spittle comes out, we Odin's Fury since it's back up, using that shorter cooldown first. They'll have an Avatar in reserve. Feels like all he does is cast in phase 2, like we're never getting meleeed. Another upsetting egg. So I start moving out, but away from the egg to try to bait it. We charge back in for the kick. We bait again, and then we gotta hoof it through with no jump. Can't charge the egg there either. Blue Orbeez coming from downtown. We have all day to dodge that. We're also due for a spit, but he channels first, so I just hit Bladestorm and we dance around. Bran is knocked out, so we can't rely on his Dispel. But apparently he can toss us an Aegis of Iron Forge even while knocked out. So we bank Avatar. I'm not sure I pressed this in 3 minutes. I think about resing him, but 10 seconds to go, it's not far off the cast time anyway. Having an interact keybind is super good for that. Feels like I should be counting the melees in each phase. He really doesn't hit you after 60%. We got a garbage egg here. Probably could have waited on Odin's Fury, but we got kind of lucky. That debuff goes on right as Avatar drops. Remembering that if you have Avatar on you, and then you get the spittle, and then you press something to refresh Avatar, it's not going to act as a snare break in that scenario. Glad we had leap up. Another side effect of him being stationary AF in this phase is that you're not needing to leap out of the stomp so much. So you're really just dodging left or right when the orbs come out. We're at like 15% health now. I'm trying to remember how much health an egg has. Still thinking. We get the dispel from Bran, we dodge some spines, and now we're under 15 million. The egg is not yet up, so I just send the damage. We roar. Bladestorm, Odin's Fury is coming back up. And Zekvir is at less health than an egg before the egg even spawns. Worst case, we can Stormbolt the ad after it spawns. Big Bloodthirst crit with plenty of time left, and we finish him off with the execute. Very cool. Bran comes to his senses in time for Zekvir to hit the floor. Not bad. Fury, just warrior in general, always a lot of fun to play. Toggle through the damage dealt here and the healing done by Bran and myself. The Shining Arathor Insignia did almost 17% of my healing and like 4.5% of my damage. Not a bad trinket. And just mouse overing the gear here. God forbid anyone sees the massive buff thinking I'm cheesing the item level I'm claiming. We have the elusive Blasphemite combo with 5 gems, that's 10% additional movement speed. Veteran 4-piece, Symbiosis deck, Symbiosis weapon embellishment. Just noticing I didn't have the Nerubian doubling embellishment. Thought I had put that in, maybe next time. And guys, that's it for Fury Warrior. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Let me know how you're doing in this last week of trying to solo him. Give this video a like if you liked it, subscribe to the channel to stay in the loop on solo stuff and Season 2 shenanigans. And of course, I want to thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening. Peace.